So when I started looking into the subleasing business, there was two options that I was faced with. There was the BTCM, Airbnb route, and there was the co-living, partitioning route. So these were the two options that I saw were happening in the market. So I looked at this route first because it seemed to be more profitable. And I went to have a look at different options. And what people were doing is they were taking apartments and they were putting partitionings and they were increasing the number of people that could stay there. And they were mixing individuals, females, males, all into one apartment. The return was quite healthy. But when I looked at this, then I tried to find the legal structure to do this. I found that there was no legal structure to do this. There was no regulatory body like we have in this structure, the Department of Tourism, that allowed this to happen. The Department of Tourism does have an option where you can have a hostel, and I tried to get that license from them, but after months of trying, I wasn't able to get anywhere. It's a very long, stringent process. So that meant that if I was going to do co-living, partitioning, bunk beds, etc., there was no legal framework for it in Dubai, which means that I couldn't really do a contract with my guests. And if they didn't pay or if they violated any of the rules, there was no legal recourse. And then I found out that partitioning actually is illegal, because to be able to partition any residential property, you need the permission from Dubai municipality, because Dubai municipality has laws. There must be a certain amount of space allocated for every human being, number one, and then there are health and safety regulations on ventilation and all the rest of it. And before you can partition any residential unit, you must submit an application to the Dubai municipality with your designs, and they would reject most of those designs because you are cramping people in smaller spaces where ventilation is designed for that room in its entirety and not to be split into multiple different rooms with separate ventilation lines coming in. It's all illegal, which meant that if I was to rent that property, pay the year's rent or a portion of it, spend money on the partitioning, spend money on the furniture, if tomorrow there's a fire or an emergency or a fight or anything like that and there was an inspection, I could get shut down and all my investment would go to zero, complete loss. The other thing was, in this scenario, you have to keep chasing cash from the customer, and you've got no legal contract to show where that cash is coming from. So if you start putting that money in the bank, at some point they're going to ask you where did that money come from, and you have no legal pathway to prove that this is a legal business. And there's no trade license for this particular business. So why I'm talking about this today is because recently Dubai government has been clamping down on this business. A lot of partitions and co-hosting places have been raided over the last few weeks, and people have lost their investment, and they've been coming to me and asking me how to do this method. So this is why I'm making this video. This particular option, however well it pays, carries a huge amount of risk and health and safety concerns for the end users, and financial concerns to you as an investor, because you're always chasing the money and the business could stop at any time. Whereas doing it this way via the Department of Tourism, Airbnb, there is a legitimate legal structure. You can get a vacation homes license from DED. This is a legitimate trade license specifically for this business. Now, once you get that, you need to get an approval from Department of Tourism that allows you to get permits for your property. And the other benefit of this way is you never have to chase the money. And then all of this is legal, and it's via the banks, it's via digital payments. So there's never any problem with being able to report this to the Dubai government or the tax authorities or to the banks. Where is this money coming from? How is the process? And you never have problems with guests who violate any of the rules. Because if the guests do violate the rules, first of all, DTCM has a special police called hospitality police. So if they don't leave on time, if they cause problems, you can call those police. Also, Airbnb provides $1 million worth of air cover insurance if any damages are incurred. The only reason I think people don't go down this way is because they don't understand that they can get a legal framework for this. Now, the approximate cost for a license with one visa is about 30,000 dirhams. And then the renewal is about 19 every year thereafter. Once you've paid for that license and you've got yourself a bank account, you've got your permits, you can legally go and sublease units. However, you can't partition those units without Dubai municipality, but you don't need to, because there's thousands, tens of thousands of visitors coming every year to Dubai that are happy to take units incomplete because they're still making savings on other than going to the hotels. And that's why this business works. And if you are in this business and you've got stuck and you've been raided, or you're scared of being raided and you're scared of the continuity of that business model because Dubai is cracking down on it and so it should, and you want to learn more about how to do it the right way and be profitable, then please feel free to reach out to us.